Mr. Melanson will be recognized for 30 minutes each. The chair recognizes the gentleman from Illinois.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I yield such time as I may consume.
Without objection.
Mr. Speaker, in June of 2007, the United States Consumer Product Safety Commission and toy company RC2 announced the recall of 1.5 million various Thomas & Friends wooden railway toys because they contain dangerous amounts of lead. Lead poisoning causes vomiting and diarrhea, convulsions, anemia, loss of appetite and abdominal pain, irritability, fatigue, constipation, difficulty sleeping, headaches, and coma. Of course, it can even be fatal. Toys on recall were made in China and retailed throughout our country. Just about every family with young kids in America knows Thomas the Tank Engine well, and that's why I stand here this evening. In 2004, the Consumer Product Safety Commission reported 121 United States product recalls. By 2007, that number had fallen to 83. Meanwhile, the Commission recorded 148 recalls of products from China. But last year, Chinese recalls totaled 287. Now, last July, I joined with Congressman Rick Larson, the co-chair with me of the United States-China Working Group, in introducing H.R. 3100, the Bipartisan Import Safety Act of 2007. This increased penalties for willful violators of federal regulations on imported goods and increased our commitment to overseas inspections by the FDA and the Commission. Our effort brought needed attention to this critical issue, and the legislation that we are discussing today, H.R. 4040, included provisions to increase penalties for violators. Now, last August, Congressman Larson and I led a delegation to China for intense discussions on product safety. We met with the Vice Minister Wei at China's General Administration for Quality Supervision, Inspection, and Quarantine. We told him that we would not stop until China allowed the Food and Drug Administration and the Consumer Product Safety Commission to deploy United States product safety officers to China. When we returned, we made good on our promise. After months of work and intense consultations with the State Department, the FDA, the Chinese Foreign Ministry, and the Commission, we're pleased to report that we now can announce the FDA will be deploying 8 full-time United States product safety officers to China later this year. Now, just a few hours ago, Congressman Larson and I met with Mr. Christopher Hickey, who will be America's incoming FDA country director for China. We will continue working with our colleagues to ensure that Mr. Hickey has all of the resources he requires to get his work done and keep families safe. We particularly stressed on him the importance of having a letter from the Secretary of Health and Human Services, giving him as country director power to stop a dangerous shipment from being unloaded in a U.S. port if, in his view as a country director, he feels that Americans could be at risk. We feel that this letter will give him important powers and negotiating leverage to make sure that he has access where needed on behalf of the FDA and the Department of Health and Human Services to make sure that Americans are safe. At a hearing of the Appropriations Subcommittee on Financial Services in March of this year, I pressed Chairman Nord to follow FDA's lead and immediately deploy United States product safety officers from the Commission to China. After weeks of intense follow-up and discussions, we're pleased to have the Commission's commitment to send its first full-time American product safety officer to Beijing. As a member of the Appropriations Subcommittee that will fund this effort, our understanding is that the startup cost for this effort will total $310,000, with reoccurring costs of $550,000 per year to support the Commission's deployment to China. I want to thank our ambassador to the People's Republic of China, Sandy Rant, for working with us to secure the physical space in Beijing and Shanghai and Guangzhou to accommodate these critical deployments. And staffers from the Kirk and Larson offices on behalf of the China Working Group did inspect those facilities just a few months ago. Now, Mr. Speaker, on December 19th of last year, the House passed H.R. 4040, the Consumer Product Safety Commission Reform Act, by a unanimous 407-0 vote. This House came together on a bipartisan basis and defined a children's product as a consumer product designated or intended for children, and here's the key phrase, up to age 12. It would mean that toys for kids up to age 12 would be subject to lead testing. Now, our colleagues in the Senate took up a bill and amended this definition and lowered the age requirement to just 7 years. I take this action tonight on behalf of Americans like Ryan Fisher, age 3, who is now recovering from lead poisoning. Ryan's mother, Beth, came to the Congress to highlight the danger that she faced, among other Americans, including the toys of Ryan's 8-year-old brother that contained lead but would not be covered under the Senate bill. The toy in question in this case was a figure from a Nickelodeon character, Diego, that was among the 17 pounds of toys that had high lead levels in the Fisher home. Today, I rise to offer what I think is a common sense motion to instruct conferees on H.R. 4040 to insist on the House definition of a children's product over what the Senate chose. Now, earlier this evening, I logged on to etoys.com, a very popular website for children's toys. And when I clicked on Toys for Children, ages 9 to 12, I found 21 products in the Thomas and Friends line available for sale. Now, did our colleagues in the Senate think that dangerous toys coming from China could only harm kids below 8 years of age?